my question is about meditation.
About meditation, yes.
Yeah, yes. When I meditate, as I know, I try to meditate. When I try to meditate, it is obvious that listening happen.
Yeah.
Happen by itself. Hearing happen by itself. This entity don't do anything to listen or to hear.
Yeah.
But there is still this entity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful, Muhammad, that realization that hearing, seeing, listening, sensing, perceiving is happening, and that entity isn't making that happen. Most people assume that there is, that entity is making that happen, where it's not. That there is a perception of this world which doesn't belong to the you. The you is being perceived.
Okay, this scene, by what is happening?
What do you
This
mean?
entity don't do anything to see. As I know,
Yeah.
this entity don't see, don't hear. Hearing happening, but by what it's happening?
Yeah, by consciousness. But consciousness isn't like something. It's not personal awareness. It's not something that can see itself. Consciousness is everything. The consciousness is the nature of the universe. Consciousness is the wall. Consciousness is the roof. Consciousness is the space. It's my words. It's the light. It's all things. It's self-conscious. Like life is self-conscious. So you could say like life produces consciousness to be conscious of itself.
So there's consciousness and entity.
And in that appears the personality, the character. Yeah.
Okay. So how can this entity dissolve in consciousness, or I don't know what I say. So this sense of separation.
Yeah. How can that be? Yeah. How can that be dissolved?
Yeah.
And the truth is I don't really know. I can only speculate. Like really, in essence, like what I really know is this moment. I have there is memory that can appear in this moment, that can imagine, like what happened here, or what I know from being in this for so long, like working with people, and there's memory that can appear. But that character and that memory, the information that comes from the brain or the memory, might have more accuracy than somebody that doesn't know this subject at all, but it ultimately doesn't know things. It makes assumptions through particular events and through memories that arise and way it's been conditioned, but it doesn't ultimately know. So the character Lisa doesn't know. So some people would go on to say, but the speaking is happening which is beyond Lisa, and they would claim that they are the speaking which is beyond the character, and so therefore that is what knows, and that is the true teaching. But it's always going to come through the colour of Lisa. It's always going to come through what's conditioned in Lisa's world, because like an animal is totally free, and an animal doesn't stop behaving like an animal. So whatever Lisa says is something that's learned into time. It's like a particular way of speaking. So I can't possibly know how that dissolves or why that dissolves. The only thing that like really rings true here and feels right is to point you back to what you are, which is this moment, which is infinity, which is no thing and all things. It's not a character, it's not that entity. And then the dissolving happens how the dissolving happens. Like on a human level, like on a wisdom level, I would recommend you to go and work and do therapies and like get a healthy, stable ego character that understands how to communicate correctly, understand what it wants, what it needs. So I would recommend that, like having a good conceptualization of the character, and then practicing on the human level, putting the attention in the attention. So putting the personal awareness in itself. But no, when I say that I'm not actually implying that you have individual free will to do that, because I don't see an individual with free will. It's just a happening that happens or doesn't happen. But to me, on the human level, like in the time-bound world, that is the wisdom of what to do. But when and how that character dissolves, I don't know. My desire when speaking with people is to point out that you aren't that character, that you are this freedom. And that's the two things that this robot does, is to point out what you truly are and to recommend making the human more balanced and to put the attention in the attention.
Yeah, okay. I practice that also, that when being aware of being aware, that I have that I also practice.
And do you have a good conceptualization of the personality? Like if you worked on it, have you got a good conceptualization of the personality? Like have you worked on your psychology, understanding your motivations in conversations, what you want from other people, like your unconscious, the way your unconscious is manifesting?
No, I just I just listened to some spiritual teacher before. It's things long. 15 years ago. First, the first Osho, then Eckhart Tolle, and last 4 year Muji, and then Robert Spira.
Oh yeah, nice. And so working with all these teachers, would you say that you've got a good conceptualization of your unconscious and your shadow and all these types of things?
Yeah. But
that's cool then. That's cool. Then you've done those two things. That would be my recommendation. I'm sure there's other things that could be recommended, but they're my two main things: is good conceptualization of the personality, and then practicing putting the attention in what you are.
Since 1 year, I attracted to 20-person message.
Nice. Yeah, that's beautiful too.
Yeah, the other speaker like him, Naho Wada, and the other speaker like 20-person. I attracted to them. Now I don't attracted to Eckhart Tolle and Muji. I'm attracted to more to 20-person message.
Yeah.
But 20-person message, he says you can't do anything.
No, he doesn't say that. From my understanding, he says there is no you to do anything.
Yeah, yes.
So he doesn't say you can't do anything. He just says there is no you.
Yes.
So he would say doing happens, but I don't think he would say you can't do something. That's a different thing altogether.
Yes. Would you say that consciousness sees through this body-mind mechanism?
I would say that only as a teaching, though. That's not really how it is. It's more unknowable and magical than that. So that's not really like how it feels like here. It's more just a conceptualization in order to try to communicate it.
Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mohammed. Nice.